Hello. Today I will be conducting a formal assessment data review for geometry concepts and connections benchmark assessment. I will analyze the data to identify instructional next steps, examine gaps in instruction, reflect on broader implications for practice, and as emphasizing data, shared decisions, effective data work is not about collecting numbers. It's about creating a student-centered culture where data informs daily instruction. This analysis follows that mindset. When reviewing the formative assessment results, I organize students into three performance bands: proficient, developing, beginning, and beginning. 1/3 of the students demonstrated mastery of the targeted standards. Half were in the developing range, and a smaller group scored below 60%. Item level analysis shared that students performed strongest on recall based and procedural questions. Performance declined, however, significantly on high order questions that require explanation, application, or written justification. Multiple step problem solving questions showed the highest error rate. Several students missed questions requiring academic vocabulary usage. This dig also revealed that some students 3, 7, and 12 struggled across multiple items tied to conceptual understanding, and students 5 and 9 showed inconsistencies strong on procedural tasks but weak on explanation tasks. As Bernhardt suggested, the issue is depth of understanding, not just content coverage. If we apply Williams' 5T framework, we would determine, was the learning goal clear? Did the assessment reflect standard rigor? Was the instruction aligned to the depth? Were the misconceptions caught early? And was the practice sufficient at the cognitive level? It suggests that some students can perform procedural but struggle to explain reasoning. The vocabulary impacts performance. Students may not fully understand how to approach multi-step problems, and instruction may have emphasized modeling without enough guided explanation practice. This suggests the gap may not be exposure, it may be cognitive demand and discourse opportunities. To say limited student discourse, students were not consistently required to verbalize or justify thinking, and there were insufficient formative checks during instruction, and could include misconceptions were not caught early enough, and including vocabulary integration where academic language was present but not explicitly enforced. Dylan Williams in embedded formative assessment emphasizing that formative assessment must be embedded continuously, not just administered at the end. The assessment gaps include the formative assessment may not have mirrored the cognitive rigor students practice daily. Question wording may have unintentionally increased cognitive load. Students were not given examples or strong written responses prior to the assessment. Fisk reminds us in leading data-informed change in schools that data should prompt reflective questions about adult practice before conclusion about student ability. Our next include instructional steps, conduct small group reteach, implement think aloud modeling, incorporate structured academic talk. And our short-term adjustments could include daily exit ticket assignments, sentence stems for written justifications, examples and non-examples, and increased formula checkpoints. Williams reminds us that data shared leads to shared decisions, meaning this cannot remain an isolated classroom practice. It should inform collaborative conversations. A few broader reflections emerge. Students need more opportunities to struggle productively before assessment. We must ensure alignment between instruction, task, design, and assessment rigor. Data conversations should focus on systems and practices and not student deficits. And we must monitor whether reteaching strategies actually improve mastery on reassessment. Barnhart emphasizes continuous improvement. Data analysis is cyclical, not a one-time event. In conclusion, the data dig revealed that students demonstrate procedural competence but struggle with conceptual explanation. Instruction needs stronger emphasis on discourse and higher order thinking. Assessment design must reflect instructional rigor. Collaborative data practices are essential for sustained improvement. As emphasized in shared data, shared decisions, when data is used intentionally and collaboratively, it becomes a tool for empowerment rather than compliance. Ultimately, this process reinforces that formative assessment is not about grading, it's about guiding instruction in real time to ensure every student moves towards mastery. Thank you.